I'm Ian from Jerry Reels. This is a short video to introduce to you the fishing sync, reel and line sensor Kickstarter project. The sync in the name fishing sync reel comes from synchronization, and that is at the heart of the invention. The invention has 2 patents filed against it at the moment. It works by monitoring with the line sensor the speed of the line leaving the fishing reel spool, and on the reel itself it has a sensor that can measure the speed of the spool. So what we're trying to do there is to synchronize the speed of the line leaving the spool with the speed of the spool itself, causing it to stay synchronized. If it doesn't stay synchronized, we get the common problem with multiplier reels of the spool overrunning, causing the line jamming and the birds nesting. So this invention has got a line sensor on the rod, and it's got a end plate assembly which contains a sensor for measuring the speed of the spool, but it also contains an electromagnetic frictional braking system. So the microprocessors which will be in both the line sensor and the end plate assembly will talk to each other, and they will maintain the synchronization at all times. So it's a completely automatic system. You will basically just be able to connect the jig at the end with your bait and load on, and you'll cast away. No adjustments required. It will allow you to cast it out with confidence, without any worries of break-offs, without any worries of jamming, without any inconvenience of having to change your spool and cut-offs, and when you're trying to get that optimum fishing time. The additional very interesting feature of this invention is that it will give you the ability to cast the same distance every time. What I mean by that is you'll be able to cast as far as you can, that's it. But then by adjusting the winder on the side of the end plate assembly, there will be a numerical dial on there. So you've reset it, you've cast it out, and it'll record a figure, say 120 yards or something like that. You've done 120 yards with an easy cast, throwing the bait out. It's a good cast, you're happy with that, and you can repeat that. Now if you then think to yourself, I would like to come back in another 20 yards, you just wind back on the winder so that it says 120 yards. Now when you cast out again, you just cast out in an easy, smooth action, the same as you did on the first one, and the line will be restricted to 120. It will apply drag to the reel spool to ensure that you're only hitting the 120, and it'll do it in a very controlled, progressive manner, so that whenever you're casting out, and as long as you're applying enough cast that would go beyond 120, you'll keep it in 120, and if you want to come another 20 into 100, you wind it down to 100 and you'll do it again. That'll give you the ability to keep hitting the same distance. So if the mackerel are there, you're not overshooting it. If there's that, you know better than me that there are lots of opportunities that you want to hit those sort of repetitive distances, and this will give you the opportunity to do that every time, automatically, as long as you set the drag. The other things that it will allow you to do are more to do with the Fisherman's Eye Friend app, which is another project that we're doing, because the information that comes from the line sensor can be downloaded via USB onto your smartphones or your PCs, and then onto the website, which is Fisherman's Eye Friend website, and you can put a lot of information on that. It's surprising how many things you can put on that. You can, for instance, you can download how many casts you've done on the day. It'll tell you put in where you've been, you can put in the weather conditions that'll come from GPS, all that stuff. You can then say how long each of the bait was in the water. You can tell when that line hits the water, it slows down very dramatically. So the sensor will notice that. So it will notice how long it's taken to before it completely stops, and from that you can estimate and get an idea of how deep the water is at that point. You can then also, when the fish collects the bait and zips off with it, it will accelerate the line through the sensor. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bigger fish with a lot of acceleration, but it'll give you an indication of what's going on there. You can put these onto your onto the website, onto your own particular part of the website, and you can build up a history of it, so that you can, for instance, if you're at a reservoir, you can sort of build up a profile at the bottom. As you keep casting in the north-northwest or in the north direction, 100 this, you will build up that profile over time. So you can put your favorite spots in, and you can get more and more information from your favorite spots. You on the website, you've got an opportunity to either to share that with other people, which most I don't think would want to, but if you wanted to share it with your best mate, they could accumulate them. You can accumulate the data together. There's lots of interest. This all really comes from the line sensor information. It's the line sensor and the end plate assembly which takes care of that of the main part of it, which is the automatic casting and the synchronization. But the line sensor as well gives you a lot of extra information, which is interesting and which can, you know, enhance your fishing experience. Anyway, I think it's a good thing, and I'm happy that it's actually moving forward. And it's only down to both the products have sort of proven themselves individually, but it takes quite a lot of effort now still to go from being the bulky item that they are to being a more small, refined, reduced in size item, and the electronics in them need to be put onto PCB boards. Again, that allows you to reduce the size of them. They then, at the moment, I can't get them to talk because you need the PCBs to be able to create software so that they can talk to each other. So the stage that we're at the moment is the line sensor. It can record, but not, and the electromagnetic braking part of it, that's not difficult. That's been done before anyway. The line sensor part, the line sensor on it is not that difficult. So it's a matter of getting the design smaller so that it's robust, it's waterproof, but it's also a matter of taking away the big components and putting them into a smaller package, so that and a very reliable package with the use of microprocessors, and then taking the prototypes out, casting away, getting a few of the Kickstarter sponsors as well. That's one of the things that we'll be offering to, if people contribute so much, they can not only get the product, but they can get the prototypes of the product, so that we can get lots of data in, so we can fine-tune the software to get it to the market quicker, and then also to take suggestions and all that on how we can take all that information from the line sensor and produce what people want as far as analysis. And on the iFriend app, the iFriend app will be free anyway. It's not going to be a charged product. It's just something which is you'll need the line sensor and the reel anyway, so in a way it's not free, but if you know what I mean. Anyway, I hope that this is going to excite you. I think it's excited me. It's been a long time coming, but we're getting there, and I think that with a bit of a push, you know, we can all be fishing with it fairly soon. So all the best. Thank you very much.